Hello and welcome to News Mongolia on MNB World. It's Friday, March the 26th. I'm Batsir Namshar. And for our top stories, the number of COVID-19 cases in Mongolia is increasing drastically. High level of preparedness extended for one more month. Mongol Bank will keep the policy rate unchanged at 6%. For other news, stay tuned. The Ministry of Health and the National Center for Communicable Diseases held its daily press briefing to provide the latest updates on COVID-19 status in Mongolia. We remind you that this week the number of daily confirmed cases already surpasses 200.
437 new COVID-19 cases have been confirmed in the past 24 hours after 14,936 people were tested nationwide, and the country's total number of cases has reached 6,332. 106 new patients have recovered, and the total number of recoveries is now 4,150, making up 65.5% of total cases. The daily percentage of positive cases out of tests taken is 2.92%, which is considerably higher than the percentage of total number of positive cases out of total tests of 0.41%. All new cases were confirmed being domestic, making the total number of domestic cases 5,796. 370 cases out of the new cases were confirmed in Ulaanbaatar, and 67 rural cases were recorded in Hufsgul, Khinti, Torngov, Orkhon, Tuv, Darkhanol, and Overhanga provinces. Out of the 1,462 patients who are currently undergoing treatment, 7 are in critical condition, 18 have severe, 194 have moderate, and 1,243 have mild symptoms. Health officials warn the public to minimize social interactions and spend the weekends at home, as the number of infections are increasing rapidly.
The Cabinet of Mongolia convened on March the 25th and discussed several issues. Deputy Prime Minister and Chairman of the National Emergency Commission, Amr Sakhang, introduced the current COVID-19 status in Mongolia. The draft budget for additional expenditures related to measures for tackling the spread of COVID-19 and the draft resolution to extend the high level of preparedness for another month were discussed and approved.
A team consisting of 25 medical professionals and experts conducted a risk assessment and concluded that COVID-19 risk status in Mongolia is very high. Therefore, the government of Mongolia issued a resolution to extend the high level of preparedness period from March 31st to April 30th, 2021. In addition, the measures to be taken at the border crossing were amended. As a result, until May 1st, freight traffic will continue as normal at 14 border crossings, and passenger traffic will be prohibited. Passengers wishing to cross the border will need the permission of the National Emergency Commission. In addition, 5.9 billion Mongolian tukreks for additional costs to fight against the spread of COVID-19 was approved. The additional budget will provide 3.9 billion Mongolian tukreks for medication, medical supplies, fuel, food, stationery, and disinfectants for 773 resident doctors and 227 family health center doctors, who will be mobilized for home monitoring and surveillance. Moreover, traditional gears will be provided to 80 families affected by recent natural disasters. According to the Mongolian Meteorological and Environmental Research Agency, due to snow and dust storms that hit 134 SOMs in 16 provinces on March 13th and 14th, a total of 531 gears were seriously damaged and people were left without shelters. Therefore, based on the request received by the National Emergency Management Agency, it was decided to provide 80 gears worth of 280 million Mongolian tukreks to households in Arkhangai, Dondrov, Urhangai, and Bolgan provinces, and to families in the suburbs of Ulaanbaatar.
Thank you for staying with us on MNB World. Now let's take a look at Mongolia's current affairs.
The Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Mongolia took into consideration the current state and outlook of the economy and financial markets, the uncertainties and risks inherent in the domestic and external environments, and decided to keep the policy rate unchanged at 6% and to issue up to 350 billion under the long-term repo financing in the second quarter of 2021. The financing has been expanded to involve businesses in processing service sectors and trade businesses with more than 200 employees. If the immunization campaign continues successfully, economic activity is expected to increase with businesses returning to normalcy. According to the latest data, in the first 2 months of 2021, exports grew by 73%. This step-by-step implementation of monetary policy measures and the adoption of new financing instruments by the central bank directed at mitigating the impact of COVID-19 pandemic will contribute to decelerating the pace of domestic economic downturns, facilitating recovery and ensuring the stability of the banking sector. According to officials from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the National Emergency Commission, 12 chartered flights are scheduled in April to repatriate nearly 2,000 Mongolian citizens. Flights to Seoul, Tokyo, Frankfurt and Istanbul will be scheduled from April 1st through April 29th. People with health conditions, pregnant women, children, seniors, people who have registered for previous flights but couldn't make it, and displaced people with financial difficulties will be prioritized for seating on the chartered flights.
You're watching News Mongolia on MNB World. Now let's take a look at currency exchange rates provided by Mongol Bank. The Champions and Veterans Committee, which was formed in December last year, consists of respected worldwide veterans and champions in boxing. Badr Oğan, the Olympic champion and best boxer of 2008, has been appointed as a member of this committee.
The committee, formed in December last year, consists of respected worldwide veterans and champions in boxing who have achieved significant results and who are ready to share their experiences. With AIBA currently suspended by International Olympic Committee, which is instead overseeing the boxing contest at this year's Olympics itself, the 7 panels have been established to ensure good governance. Omar Kremlyov, president of the International Boxing Association, appointed Badr Oğan as a member of the new Champions and Veterans Committee. He's the winner of the Beijing 2008 Summer Olympic Games, the best boxer of the world in 2008, the vice president of the Mongolian Boxing Association, and secretary general of the Mongolian Olympic Committee. Kremlyov officially announced the appointment of Dinhwat Badr Oğan on Wednesday. The Champions and Veterans Committee, based in Lausanne, Switzerland, was established in 1946 under the auspices of the International Boxing Association, which has 204 member countries and will continue to play an important role in the federation's activities. Olympic champion Badr Oğan has become a member of the commission, and for the first time Mongolia is committed to holding a responsible position in the International Boxing Federation.
Yokozuna Kakuryu, sumo champion and winner of 6 top division titles, retired Wednesday after missing a 5th straight tournament due to injury. The retirement of the Mongolia-born wrestler was approved the same day by the Japan Sumo Association.
Kakuryu, whose real name is Mangaljalov Anand, has long been dealing with elbow and lower back pain and recently announced he would sit out the ongoing Spring Grand Sumo tournament because of a left hamstring strain. The surprise retirement announcement came less than 2 weeks after Kakuryu told his stablemaster Michinoku that he is not ready to retire yet. Michinoku told reporters at the time he had confirmed the wrestler's desire to keep fighting. In November, Kakuryu, as well as fellow Mongolian-born Yokozuna Hakuho, received stern warnings from the Japanese Sumo Association over their absences from the ring. The admonition was the harshest the GCA's Yokozuna Deliberation Council can make short of recommending a wrestler to retire. It came a month after Kakuryu acquired Japanese citizenship, which will allow him to remain in Japan and run his own stable of wrestlers after retirement. He will retain his wrestler's name for the Toshiori name as a sumo elder. Kakuryu made his sumo debut in November 2001 and was promoted to Yokozuna in the spring of 2014. He's the first sumo grand champion to retire since Kiseno Sato in 2019.
Following this, let's take a look at the weather forecast for the world's major cities. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for staying with us. We'll see you next week with more news and updates. Have a nice weekend. Goodbye.